Right, okay, so no UFC card this weekend, so I suppose the only thing we can really do is look forward to the next main event, which is Ian Garry versus Carlos Prates. Now, when this fight was first announced, I was pretty confident I was going to be picking Ian Garry, but I've just watched Carlos Prates versus, who was it, Trevin Giles. I watched Garry versus Rachmanov back again, and now I'm not so sure. I'll explain why, but we'll have a quick look at the odds. So Ian Garry is slight favourite at the minute, -125, and then so there's not much in the odds. Like, it's not like Gary's a massive favourite. It could even be a pick'em by the time fight night comes around. But yeah, I was pretty certain I was going to be picking Ian Garry. I don't know why. I just sort of weighed up what I've seen from the both of them, and thought, okay, I'll probably pick Garry in that one in a 5-rounder. They can get it done probably by decision, but as I say, I've watched a couple of their fights and I'm not really so sure now. Alright, so I know it's on the UFC's YouTube channel, but I don't know if I'm actually allowed to show clips from the fight, so I'm just going to use like screen grab moments. So the first fight I watched was Giles versus Prates, and Giles obviously got knocked out in the second. It was a great 1-2 from Prates, if you remember. But in the first round, Giles had some success and he actually won the first round. The first like screen grab moment we've got here is the inside low kick. Prates is a southpaw, Garry is an orthodox, so I think that will be a big weapon for Garry in this fight. And other moments in the first round, when Giles went first, he was landing boxing combinations on Prates. None of them wobbled him, none of them really caught him that badly, but he was landing boxing combinations against Carlos Prates. Another big thing I have to mention that I noticed from this fight is how good Carlos Prates' takedown defense was. Giles tried takedowns from the open, he tried to push him against the fence and tried takedowns, and Prates stuffed every single one and was able to get his back off the fence and get back into space and land whatever he wanted to land. He was landing a lot of teeps to the body. But yeah, Ian Garry in this fight, I'm not really sure whether he'll push the wrestling early. Can see him wanting to prove something in the striking, get a bit of respect in the striking, and then maybe in the third, if he even makes it there, start to look for takedowns possibly. If I'm being honest with myself though, there's not really too much you can fault Prates for in that fight. Like, he lost the first round, yeah, but it wasn't like he got dominated. It wasn't like he got wobbled and dropped. Like, he still looked fine. I think he was just trying to read which shot he could land, and then, as we know, in the second, towards the end of the round, he did land the shot and he put him out cold. So I'm not going to fault Prates too much from that fight, but there is some things in there that he looked very good at, and then there is some areas where you could see Garry having success, but it was a good performance from Prates there. Now, as I mentioned, I did also watch Ian Garry versus Shavkat Rakhmonov, and there was one thing just in the fight as a whole that I sort of noticed about Ian Garry, and it's that he didn't actually win that many of the boxing exchanges. Like, as you can see, the screen grab moment here is Shavkat landing a big right hand to the face of Ian Garry, which didn't wobble him or anything, but it was a shot that landed and it was a significant strike. But in the moments in the fight where it was like, out of the boxing exchanges there were, and it was like, okay, at the end of that combination, there was a big punch landed and it was a significant strike. It was all Rakhmonov. So Ian Garry, if I'm going to confidently pick him against Carlos Prates, he should have been winning a lot more boxing exchanges against Shavkat for me. So just another moment that I picked up on here from the fight, it was when Rakhmonov lunged forward with a right hand and managed to land on the chin of Garry. Now, you can't really compare it too much for Prates. Prates fights out of a different stance, and usually his hardest shots come from his rear left hand, which is very powerful. But it still just goes to show that, Garry's like shifting off the left here, but like, if you go forward, you can still catch him, and I feel like if someone like Prates lands that, it could put Garry down. Now, I'm not saying Ian Garry's going to be able to take Carlos Prates down. I think that will be a very tough task for him. But I think he needs to at least put it out there that he's feinting takedowns, maybe shoot one from the open and like put the thought into Prates' mind that, okay, that's something else I need to think about. But I think the more that Ian Garry lets Prates go first in the boxing exchanges, the more likely it is to be an early night for Ian Garry, to be honest. It's hard to pick against the man when this is what his resume looks like. This is his win streak. Like, there's names on there as well, like Li Jingliang is not easy to finish. He got Neil Magny out of there in one. Like, the win streak that he's got is just absolutely ridiculous. Well, there's no event this weekend, as I mentioned, so we've got quite a while to decide who we want to pick for this main event. It's a difficult one, man. It is difficult. Prates, just how do you try and critique someone that's been so perfect in the UFC career, but also Gary's so well-rounded? It's a difficult pick. I don't know whether to change my pick to Prates or not. We'll see when fight week comes around, see what the vibe is, but yeah.